Hi guys, hope everybody's doing well today. I'm going to get BoomBaba on here. Hi. Let's hope we don't have an issue, as I just sent a request and I asked him to make sure his Instagram was up to date. Hi guys. Sharon, I'm calling you guys. Come on. What's going on? Oh God. Hello? Okay, it's saying, Taryn, that you're not able to join. So did you check your Instagram? I don't know if your Instagram is up to date because it's saying you're not able to join. Hello, can you hear me? BoomBaba, you need to upgrade your Instagram. What is the situation? Yeah, I know that he, I don't think. Hey, Taryn, can you see me or hear me? Because I can see you online, but I can't add you. Unable to join, it keeps saying. Oh my God. Taryn, can you acknowledge me? Can you know that, can you hear me? Like, you're not available, it's saying. Hello. Everybody can hear me clearly, I guess. Sending prayers that it works. Yeah, me too. Oh, funny. He hasn't acknowledged me at all. I don't know. Ah, hello. Can you hear me?
Or is the network messed up? Hello there.
Oh, wait. Can
Listen.
you hear me?
I've actually charged my phone at the same time.
What?
I can hear you, darling.
Okay, you keep on freezing.
I can hear you.
You're freezing. Hello. Hello, Canada calling India, over and out. I think it might be an issue because I know that I think he's using his data because I don't think they have still have internet there. I'm gonna try again. It might be a problem to get this going. Hello?
Am I there? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you keep on
Is
freezing,
it connected?
dude.
Sorry, dude. Goa network.
Yeah. How are you? Uh-oh. It's frozen.
Not bad.
It's frozen again.
Not bad. Surviving.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Frozen in time.
Yeah, yeah.
You too?
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Maybe I walk around. It might be easier. Hold on.
Are you using your Wi-Fi on your phone?
Yes, I am actually.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why, hey?
I finally got my internet back after the cyclone.
Oh,
My
wow.
internet just came back like about 3 hours ago.
Oh, really? Wow.
Absolutely. After 16 days of no internet. I'm just
Crazy.
using the phone to survive.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Trying to watch Netflix on the phone, downloading some shows.
Funny. So how's everything else apart from all the cyclone and all the everything else? Like everything else is good with you guys?
Well, this season was actually one of the most fun seasons, strangely, that it happened that suddenly there were so many parties and there were so many gigs and so many people from so many places, and we frankly thought that we were immune and nothing can touch us and all this stuff. And slowly, one of our friends, one by one, our friends started getting sick, and then everything, locked down again, and the cases rose really high. But now, after 15 days of, maybe 20 days of this lockdown, the cases have halved now. So I think things are much better. And everyone's getting their vaccine shots.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah?
I can hear you.
Okay.
It's stuttering, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I like wanted to start like to ask you like how you got into the whole electronic trance scene, and when did it all start for you?
Well, basically, my first rave ever was like in about 1993. My brother took me to this rave party in Mud Island and
Aaron,
left
you
me
mean
alone
Aaron?
in the corner and said, listen to this music and enjoy it. Arun did, yeah, Arun did, absolutely. And I was about almost 16, basically.
Okay.
And always coming to Goa and Arun was the Club Paradiso. So going to all those parties over there and going to all the various, like the Disco Valley parties and stuff. And also a few of Asad and Hussein's rave parties that they would organize in Bombay.
Okay.
Inspired me to like get into the music and get into the sound. And then luckily I was working for MTV, so they were sending me to Singapore to do some shows from there. So I had a chance to go, and I found this record store called Triptych Records in Singapore, which had all the Flying Rhino, Transient, Tip, Trust in Trance, all the legendary labels from the early 90s.
Okay.
So I could collect all that music. And I actually started DJing eventually in 98.
In 98. So how old were you in 98?
I was about 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when you started. That's when you started DJing, then, huh?
That's when I started DJing.
Okay. And what did you start DJing on, Karen? What?
The first thing I ever started DJing was the Windows Media Mixer. Like it was a mixer that was built into Windows. So you would plug in like a line in at the back of your sound card. You'd plug in like a DAT or an MD player or whatever, and then you'd have Winamp playing some MP3s or some WAV files that you had. So I would use, like, the early DAT and MD DJs didn't have beat matching.
Yeah.
Because there was no control for the stuff. So you just, you'd use like the intros and the outros, the 20 seconds to create the story, and then where the kick would stop, the next kick would kind of start, and that's like how it would be.
How it would be, yeah. So when was so you went to Goa the first time when you were 16? Did you say?
No, my parents actually bought a house there in '88, and I was about 7 or 8 years old. So from the time I was about 7 or 8 years old, we've been coming to Goa.
Okay.
Every vacation we'll be coming to Goa.
Okay.
So we had a house in Vedam on the river, and that's where pretty much we would have spent our vacation. And then on Sinkeram Beach, so we knew a lot of the beach boys on the Taj Beach, and that's where Arun opened his first shack. So that was my formative years.
Okay.
And I ended up catching one party at Shapora Fort. I think that was '92, which was the last party in Shapora Fort.
Yeah,
and I must have been 50.
We had some good parties up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got that was maybe the last. That was the only one I've ever been for, but that might have been the last.
Okay.
But I've heard stories, obviously.
Yeah,
from
obviously.
Friends who asked, Daniel and all from Bombay would come down and organize something before.
Yeah. Okay, and so then you started DJing in 90. What did you say again? Sorry,
98.
98. And
yeah.
Oh, so what was your first party then?
It's actually quite hazy. I know my first few parties. They were small raves. So I remember there was this rave party in this place called China Creek. It's like north of Bombay. It's a beautiful forest and like obviously a creek. There's like a little creek and there's a forest, and there were a bunch of parties that happened there. So I think I ended up playing in one of those parties, and just like small raves, 50, 100 people, that would happen. And in those days in Maharashtra and Bombay especially, we were like literally, there was 3 parties every weekend. It was spoiled for choice.
Okay.
We didn't leave any weekend.
Yeah. And so those were your first parties, huh?
Those were my first parties, but before that, obviously, I used to hang around with Asad and Hussein, because they were like the established DJs who were playing trance, and then Jay would have these parties. So I would go for the parties. I would help with the organization or deco and stuff. And then eventually, there were some few clubs in Bombay, like Raspberry Rhinoceros was like an early club in Bombay.
Okay.
So that's where me and Karan Khanna had our first few gigs ever. So we would go and we would play for Hussein, and there was some deal. I think we would get 2,000 rupees or something like that. And we were just like happy to be able to play.
Big money, hey?
In the club. And it used to be great fun. Back on the beach on Juhu Beach, and you could smoke. People would smoke chillums on the beach and all, pretended it was Goa, even though it wasn't. But yeah, it was really fun.
Cool. So, and then when would you say was the first time you got to play in Goa then, Tarun?
First time I played in Goa was my friend of mine organized a party in Banyan Tree. Murugan, this friend. I don't know if you know Murugan, South Indian character. So anyway, he organized this party in Banyan Tree and strangely got me and Ashwin to play. But I think I have played before, but it's just like, just the years have melded into each other.
Yeah, I know.
I remember playing at Hilltop. My first gig at Hilltop was about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I would say, way before 10 years ago. In 2009, I had organized the Spongle tour in India. So that's when I had booked Hilltop for the first time and ran the gate and did the Spongle party. So I'm pretty sure I played at Hilltop before that. But yeah,
I know how it is. Yeah, I know how it is.
The last 10 years, I played at Go Madras for like from 2010 to 2020 every year.
Okay.
You played at Go Madras with me as well. We played right after each other. That was what, 6-7 years ago.
Was it? I thought it was longer than that, but yeah, it might be. But like
possibly
I'm
8
like
years.
you too.
Go Madras has been happening for 10 years, and now it stopped since before the pandemic. So I'm not even counting the time that's happened since the pandemic started.
Yeah. I also can't remember the years and the when and too many parties and too many things happen, you forget.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time I saw you was at Hilltop.
Oh, really?
So Hilltop, yeah, Hilltop, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, because I knew your brother like before you, so.
Yeah, exactly. He introduced us to Julio and you and Yoshi and the
Yeah.
Bacardi crew,
Yeah.
the Bacardi gang.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I remember when he did with the party in the bungee jumping place.
Yeah, that was after Paradiso got canned, no? So I think
Yeah.
he did the bungee jumping thing 2001, 2002. And yeah, I'd already started DJing. I think I played at the bungee jumping place
I think you
because that
did,
was like,
yeah.
that would have been one of my first few parties. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then
I started playing around.
when did you start get into like actually producing music? Like how long have you
So
been?
I actually started producing music around 99, 99, 98, 99. I met these friends. I was traveling to North India with a friend of mine to travel to the Kumbh Mela, and
Okay.
we were staying with some friends in Delhi who happened to be electronic music producers, like early pioneers of electronic music. So they're a band called Medieval Pundits. I don't know if you've heard of them. There's Gaurav, Raina, and Tapan. And they were making music on a software called Cakewalk, which was like a really old sequencer, even before like Cubase and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, you can use a computer and you can sequence stuff and sync MIDI and have keyboards. And I was like, I want to do this shit. So we made like, I messed about with the software and kind of like made one track while I was there and was very chuffed about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back home and do this. And then we proceeded to travel for 4 months for the Kumbh Mela, and we traveled to mountains and Rajasthan and everything. Came back, and then about 6 months later, I actually started downloading software and
Okay.
I mean, I was quite not geeky, but I guess I could understand software. Not it wasn't so difficult for me because I was from that generation where the internet was just starting and was very nascent, so everyone wanted to get into coding. I learned HTML and all that stuff. So yeah, I was like, okay, I can figure out the software. So I use Fruity Loops was my like Reason. No, actually, Acid was Sony Acid. Then Reason, no, then Fruity Loops, then Reason, then Cubase, then Logic, then Ableton, and now obviously Logic and Ableton and a few other things.
Oh wow. Cool. So okay. So you've been making music for quite a while then.
Yeah, so basically my first track got released on Karan Bhojwani's record label called Third World Records. So they had a compilation called Digital Eyes, and it had some tracks from Space Tribe and GMS and Parasense and I think Tranan and yours truly. So my first track, which was a James Brown remix of I Feel Good.
Oh,
So it's like a Psy 147. Like it had the bass, funky bass line and a sidekick and whatever. So they liked the track, and I was like, they were like, "I'll buy, guys, we'll buy the track." I was like, "Great, wow, fantastic!" That was my first licensed track in
nice.
2004, and I was lucky enough to have these Bombay music producers help me with the mix because at that point there was really nobody who you could ask, or
Yeah.
let's say like, how do I, like, what's a compressor or whatever, So he was like, Suleiman from this duo called Salim and Suleiman was like, you got to use this UAD compressor and check out the setting, and I put on my kick, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic. This is the sound. And so they helped me with my mix, and then I mixed the track, and it came out on both his label, and I was like, wow, I'm a producer. So I made a lot of tracks before that, which my friend would trade on DATs and get international unreleased tracks of other artists in exchange for my lame tracks on that.
Okay.
And BoomBaba Central was my artist project in those days. And apparently it's traveled, it's traveled quite across the world in the late 90s to early 2000s. And been on people's dad collections. And people have got in touch with me now and said, can we get these tracks? And all. I was like, I don't have this stuff anymore because hard drives have crashed and things have, there was no backup or Google Drive and those things have been lost. I remember York had given me a DAT with the Juno Reactor album, unreleased, I think the unreleased Infected Mushroom album and a little bit of Juno Reactor as my birthday gift, my 18th birthday gift. And I left in a rickshaw. And he was so pissed off with me. And he was like, How can you do this? This is underage music. If it gets into somebody's hand, I was like, yo, it's in a rickshaw. The guy is not going to know what to do with this dad cassette. He's probably never seen anything like it and doesn't know what to do with it. Even if he finds it, he's going to probably chuck it.
Yeah.
I told you to keep it safe. How could you lose this dad?
Wow, funny.
But it was very tough to get music back in those days.
Yeah.
In Goa, I'm sure it was much easier, but especially in Bombay. We would come to Goa and we would go to a flea market and buy those Richie strips, cassettes, and those CDs, and to get the tracks, and then you cut the tracks out of the mixes and play them.
Yeah, the classic flea market tapes. Yeah.
Yeah, recently somebody posted it on one of the Facebook groups, so I was like, Richie strips.
Oh, really?
And that's how Ma Faisa got her start, right? That's how Ma Faisa got her start with the cassettes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You
that's
remember?
how. Yeah, with cassettes. And I wanted to ask you, so since you've been like making music, has your is it you go under the name BoomBaba? Oh, he's frozen. Oh, did you hear what I said? Oh, it's frozen.
Network's very terrible. Why
Hello?
is it so bad? Finally, my internet is started and it's so bad.
Yeah, Indian quality, yeah.
And I have like a fiber link. It's supposed to be like a 300 Mbps fiber link, which I can download stuff. It works. Like I can start my torrents and it's downloading at 4 Mbps, but apparently I can't have a conversation with you.
Can't have a
that conversation.
Doesn't work. No. I was asking you about since you've been producing music, have you always gone under the name BoomBaba?
Yeah, so basically it was Bombay Central originally, and BoomBaba was more like my DJ name. And recently I've been releasing music under the name of BoomBaba, and my techno stuff gets released, the tech house stuff gets released as Tarun Shahani, and then I have another cheeky side project called Sasta Steve, which is like cheap Steve, because people tease me and say I look like Steve Aoki, so I'm like the cheaper Steve Aoki.
Oh, okay.
So I do the Uber commercial pop, deep house or whatever, that kind of stuff under Sasta Steve.
Okay.
So yeah,
so
I'm
you
getting
have
with
like
all
three
the side
different
projects. I'm gonna milk the 10 side projects deal and have 10 side projects, so you can book me for anyone at the festival.
So you have 3 different projects then?
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4 projects. So Bombay Central actually is a collaborative project with me and other people. So I used to collaborate with a drummer called Neerav Gandhi for a few years, and we put out a few chill out tracks under that name. And then I collaborated with my partner Vinayak Manohar, who's been my longest partner. We've been songwriting and music writing partners. So we've been producing music together for about 15 years. No, yeah, about almost 20 years now. So, and we've done a whole lot of music for advertising and film and documentaries and 7 feature films. And that's basically kept the family in money and kept it rolling and kept the life going, and obviously paying and everything else is fantastic. But I found that I ended up learning a lot of stuff by doing music for other genres and for production, because obviously I could get to learn on my clients' dime. They would be like, hey, can you make this? And we were like, yeah, we can make it. And obviously we couldn't make it, but we just figured it out on the way, and we had access to the best studios, and we had access to really good musicians and budgets to hire good musicians. So we could work with good musicians and learn, collaborate and do those things. So we ended up getting better and better, and clients liked our work. So they would come back to us. So we ended up doing a lot of very cool things that way. And yeah. So I moved back to Goa 7 years ago, and since then I've been focusing a lot more on my own original productions and compositions. So I put out a bunch of techno stuff, minimal techno stuff on Superb Records, which is owned by friends of mine, Ash Roy and Kamcho, and that's like they represent the Indian underground minimal and tech scene, and that did pretty well. And I put out some chill out stuff, which did well, and now I'm just trying to put out everything that I've been working on for a long time now. So there's like a lot of stuff that's ready, but it's just I'm figuring out when to put it out
When to
and
put it
how to
out.
put it out.
Okay. And then you just had something
Yeah,
released not long ago, right?
yeah, that was on Digital Distortion, which is Brian Fernandez's label, and that's my first release on his label. And that's really like it's quite a killer compilation with a lot of top twilight towards foresty night grungy sound, and it's like Adventures on the Dance Floor Volume 2. And there's a track by Gambino as well on that
Oh,
compilation. You
really?
know Gambino.
Okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah, so
Gambino.
it's
Yeah.
a track by Gambino, which is the first track, and then I'm the second track, and then there's the rest of the artists on that, like Chakraview and a whole bunch of other artists that are really talented.
Okay. And then what?
So yeah, I'm excited. That track
Hmm?
I actually made because I watched this tutorial by Tristan on Future Phonics where he explains how he uses Ableton and certain granular sampling techniques. Like he takes a vocal sample and then messes around with it, so it becomes a tone, or you can like an oscillator, and then you can generate it. So I was inspired by that, and my son was like, "You got to check out these vocals by this guy, Alex Jones, who does this conspiracy, channel in America called Infowars." And he was like, he's got this crazy grungy voice, and he's like, Alice Jones, and he's always screaming and all. He's like, the drugs, the frogs are getting gay, and they're putting acid in the water, and he has all these lame statements. So I sampled a bunch of that, and I made a track called "Back Your Brain," which has got all those kind
Okay.
of sounds in it. It's in the mix I sent you.
Okay. Cool. So what? So is your son into making music too?
He's 16. He's going to be 16 in September, and initially he was kind of like showing signs that he was interested in music. He was playing keyboard beautifully and all when he first moved to Goa, and he had a music teacher and everything. But pretty soon he got bored with it. I think also it's a little like early in his life, and I think people pick up a few skills and abilities, and then later in their life they either find it or they don't find it. So I didn't want to force him, and I'm like, you be you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he's very good, very talented illustrator, and he's into like financial stuff and big business and big money. So I mean, let him be him, and I'm sure like basically how it is. Every kid of a hippie becomes a yuppie. So it's like it's sort of like that generational flip that always happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like, I mean, he had a try at least,
Yeah, he can use Ableton, he can DJ, he had made a glitch hop set when he was about 11 or 12. So he's quite fluent with software and things like that, but he's more into gaming and modding and creating mods for his Minecraft and his other games, and doing some texture packs and visual stuff. So
that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. How's Mali?
He's good. Yeah, he graduates tomorrow. Yeah, he graduates.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so tomorrow he graduates, and yeah, so he's super. I think he's super like kind of nervous about tomorrow and excited at the same time. And then
wow,
and then he's gonna he's gonna be going off and doing this wildfire fighting through the summer.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Firefighting tour. How long is he gone?
I don't know. Well, he'll be gone. Well, it's all gonna be through the summer, but I don't know if he'll be there like 3 weeks and then maybe have like 1 week off, or I don't know how it's gonna work. But yeah, he'll be camping out there and everything. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they grow up so fast, hey?
They certainly do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great also seeing all our friends who we know from the 90s and stuff, and I know a lot of these people, they're babies and all, and then I see them now like they're full-grown adults and like mixing cocktails. One of them is a cocktail maestro with the cocktails and everything, and they're all like so sorted and everything. And I've seen them as kids, and now they're all grown up, and it's this whole amazing new generation.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool. And I wanted to ask.
Like I remember seeing Jonas when he was 11. I remember seeing Jonas when he was 12 or 13 when he was first DJing. I remember going and asking his parents permission for him to come and play a party in Pune, and they were like, "No, he's too young. He can't come now."
Yeah, he was a baby when he started.
Yeah.
Same with you know, Rictum and Bunzi also. They were like very young when they started too.
And the girl who's been with Jonas in one of these videos is Stella.
Yeah,
Stella.
yeah.
She became Stella Nutella. Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Because I remember Stella Nutella came to it. So I just made the connection that Stella was Stella Nutella.
Yeah. Then I wanted to ask you, like, any parties or festivals outside of like India that you played at?
Well, I haven't really, unfortunately, been able to travel that much. So I haven't really been to so many festivals out. I mean, outside India, the most unique festival I could say was like actually not really outside India. It was in Nepal, but it was this the second Shanti Yatra festival that happened.
Okay.
And it was in this really beautiful, fantastic. There was like I don't know. I think this one German guy had taken this entire side of a hill, and he had totally manicured it and done it up and everything. So there was literally like, I remember we were staying with Brain Drop. Brain Drop had invited me and a few other artists. I mean, a lot of artists from all over the world to come and play. But there was this amazing house which is in the rocks. So there was like, you could literally walk into the rocks, and there's a thing that goes down. There's like showers in the rocks. And so it's like a full rock hotel, but it's completely luxurious and beautiful with hot showers and everything. So it was like fantastic. And the whole the spot itself was surrounded by snow-capped peaks. So it was beautiful. It was like a little bowl in the middle of these 12 or 13 snow-capped peaks around it. So it's just some of the most stunning festival venue that I've been to.
Okay, and then, so, like, how about now? Like, are you working on anything at this moment?
Yeah, actually, right now I've got a Psy album finished. I've got a chill out album ready. I've got a second Psy album finished in different styles. So I'm just basically polishing up the mixes, and I've recently decided to start my own label and push my own music directly onto SoundCloud Repost, which is a really cool utility within SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Because oftentimes you give your music to other labels and stuff, and it's great, you get publicity and everything, but you very rarely see any monetary returns, you know. And it's your music could end up being used for whatever, but you just don't see that return, you know, or energy exchange, let's put it that way. So this is a way to streamline your own control over your own unique IP. So that's why I've chosen to go in this direction.
Okay. And what would you say your DJ style is, Taran? Like right now, what is your style? Like when with the Psy, like when you play Psy trance, what is your style? Is it like more like night or? Hello?
I'm sorry, Dom, I can't hear you. One second. Let me just figure this connection out. It's very terrible. We're back. Are we back?
Are we back?
Okay.
Kind of. It keeps
You're
on
still frozen.
Yeah, it keeps on freezing. Can you hear me though? No, I guess you can't hear me either. Can you hear me now?
Now I'm on my 4G. I hope it's better. It's apparently better with the 4G than my internet that I was waiting 16 days for it to come back.
Funny. I was
Hooray for Vodafone.
Vodafone. I was asking you what's your style? What do you consider is your style when you DJ?
Well, personally, I mean, for many years, my style for the last before I moved to Goa, strangely, was a more morning style. Like I was known as the morning guy. I do the sunrise, like always for many years. You know, we would do outdoor parties all over the country, and friends of mine would do the night, play the whole night, and I would play
The
the
morning.
morning. So that was supposedly me, right? But I come to Goa, and strangely, Stalin kept booking me in these twilight slots, and he kept slotting me like before Dirty Safi or before after some other guy or whatever. So I had to like quickly change and adapt and have, and obviously, I mean, I love all the styles. So for me, not a it's not strange to like adapt and everything. So I've eventually ended up being more in the twilight to like let's say like the 146 to 150, 152 category now, as opposed to
Okay.
me before for many years. But yeah, personally I'm like this very has a very strong affinity to the old school Goa years, so from 93 till 2000, the musicality and the Phrygian melodics and just that whole mystical spiritual vibe I love, like for me that gets my heartstrings going. And obviously I love well produced music and I love well produced sounds and interesting synthesized things. But I really need musicality somehow to connect the whole story. The whole recent trend of using sounds in the same key to create a story is interesting and everything. But if people use a little bit more, I'm not saying put chord progressions in there and make it cheesy as fuck, but I'm saying a little bit more musicality would just do nice,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. And can I ask if you have like who are some of your favorite?
That's one of my tracks playing in the back, I think.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
This is in your mix on that's on SoundCloud.
So this is a recording of a set I played at Hilltop, and
Hilltop.
half of it is tracks that are mine, and half of it is other international artists' tracks, like a DJ set mixed with a live set. And I usually
Okay.
even DJ Ableton very often, and I'm very comfortable with DJing on Ableton. And it's quite strange when people see me bringing my laptop and my launch pad and like, why are you getting all of this when you're just DJing? But I like the control and the power that Ableton has for me to be able to move in key and maybe move in tempo and move very quickly and have different choices and be able to use different plugins
Okay.
which I use in my production. I'm able to use them so it's fun for me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I still love a Pioneer CD players and deck, but over the last maybe 7 to 8 years, I've been playing more on Ableton.
Okay.
It's
And
also
I
you get accustomed and you get used to certain things. And you don't want to really change.
yeah. I wanted to ask you also, is there any like artists or DJs that like that really inspire you or have in the past?
Absolutely. I mean, from the early Goa trance artists who inspired me was like obviously Hallucinogen and um, Astral Projection in the beginning, Infected Mushroom. Um, Over the years, I loved even Xenomorph and artists like that, or Haldolium, for instance. Guys who suddenly created a whole new genre, like Gem or Hux Flux, for instance. Their sounds or their albums after that created new genres and new directions for the whole Psy scene to like emulate and follow. So for me, I feel like Hux Flux is sort of like the pioneer of the whole Twilight towards Forest, towards that sound.
Okay.
Haldolium is the pioneer for like the progressive and that sound. So all these artists who suddenly, or Quirk, for instance, that Quality Control album of his was a legendary one. So all these different, suddenly these artists put out their electronic music, but they present it in such an amazing context, and way. So that creates a whole new subgenre of music just with their thought of view. So yeah, many artists have inspired me and continue to inspire me, today's artists as well. Like recently, the newer artists who I really like, I like Zompa. I like a lot of the Twilight artists. I like a lot of the dirty, sappy, grungy, punky kind of rock and roll, punky kind of like sound. It was a little edgy and it had that sort of thing that was very interesting to me.
Okay.
And yeah, that's fun.
Can you see? Are you reading the? There's like. Can you see the comments, Charan?
BoomBaba has inspired me a lot. Hux Flux, Ataro, Goa Gil.
I don't know. Somebody keeps on saying Goa Gil Aja. I'm like, yeah, whatever. We're not.
Goa Gil.
Goa Gil.
Goa Gil.
Oh, funny. And then.
I mean, I was a big fan of Goa Gil, but and I remember, like, I consciously remember one of the most amazing experience of my life was in '96 at Disco Valley, this party, where I had so much energy, I ended up running up the hill, up Disco Valley after the party, after dancing. So yeah, that was a very good party. Goa Gil played in '96.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask you, what is there any? I mean, I guess for a lot of people this question is difficult, but I like to ask it. Is like, is there probably not one, but like, can you like give me like one or two maybe parties that you've like played at that you would never forget, like that was such a like great impact on you?
There's a good many of them, but yeah, if I have to choose, yeah, there have been some magical moments. Like we did this festival in Jaisalmer called Rajasthan.
Okay.
And I played a 4-hour set, and it was just the most beautiful sunrise because the clouds over the back of I mean, just the whole location, the set, the friends of mine who were there, it just was like kind of like one of the most perfect, legit things. Obviously, I love Go Madras. I always have a fantastic time at Go Madras. I had one of the most fantastic sunrises of my life at Hilltop as well when I played Sunrise there the last time, which was many moons ago. Yeah. Yeah, of course. So there were these caves on the way between Bombay and Pune called Baja Caves, and they're like 2,000-year-old Buddhist caves.
Oh wow!
And it's like they're like carved out of the rock. And so we went and we used to make parties over there. So we were doing this earth dance parties. So
okay.
For Tibet and it was like the Pune people with the Bombay people come together and do this party in the middle of Pune and Bombay in Baja. So we went for the party and everything. I didn't have headphones, but I only had 7 mini discs. But I knew them so well that I played 7 hours on those 7 mini discs without
headphones. Yeah.
So
I did that once. I did that once. But then, like I was explaining, I mean, I think when I was talking to Esra.
But you got to really know your music, obviously.
Yeah.
You got to really know your music, or you got to be really brave.
Yeah.
Of just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I was played with that, so then I mean, a lot of the time, I knew most of my music. Like.
Sure.
So yeah, there's one time where I was stuck in Greece and I think it was like the headphones and then the system was like so loud that you couldn't really hear anyway. So I just had to play without and just.
You have like markings on your back after tracks and all stars and stuff like that to indicate how.
Yeah. Yeah. But also.
Remember, York had some insane code. I mean, like some serious like hieroglyphics was happening on his DATs. And anyway, all his DATs used to be like lovely colored, and he had his massive Sony DAT thing, double DAT machine with all the fluoro stickers on it and everything. So it was like a whole.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what do you think is like the craziest party for you? Craziest experience you've had at a party?
Well, that was my 20th birthday party where I ended up playing for 17 hours non-stop.
Whoa.
And it was just a fantastic party, and I was plenty high. So yeah, that would be up there with one of my craziest experiences for sure.
17
party
hours.
experience.
Wow. I played a long set, but like I don't think I played 17 hours.
I nearly walked into traffic after the party.
Funny.
No,
So and then
but I mean, in your youth you can get away with a lot more things. No, now I'm like 44, so it's like I I was at my friend Ashwin's birthday party, and Breger, who's another DJ who plays in Goa quite often, he played like a 12-hour daytime set from like 7 in the morning to like 8 in the evening, which is fantastic, and it was so beautiful, and we were all missing that long set story, which only happens when it's one person playing and creating that story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it could not happen with 20 DJs or 30 DJs.
No,
or
I know.
15
I miss.
DJs.
That's what I miss a lot.
How fantastic!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you don't really get the full story from each DJ. Really, it's just a little piece, and that's about it.
And I also feel like this new generation hasn't experienced something like that, you know. And maybe if they experience something like that, they might be like, "Hey, wow, that's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's up?" You know. But slowly, I think.
Yeah.
It's coming back. I think it's coming back with a lot of like certain DJs demanding longer sets, and especially if you book them and you're paying them a lot of international techno or whatever, even side artists, you know, like Tchaikovsky, for instance, like if he comes and plays, he plays like a 4, 5, 6 hour set.
Yeah.
And not less. Or Gil, for instance, you know, he wants like that.
Yeah, Gil is a marathon, 36 hours.
It's only me. There's nobody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think even like 2 DJs, like a night and a day, or even 3 DJs, whatever, but just a little longer. I think right now I feel things are just, it becomes top of the pops, you know, or it becomes top of that genre, you know, or it becomes like top of my record label. Let me represent the top of my record label. The story, everything, the story is in the last priority. The first priority is everything has to be in tempo. Everything should be harmonically going into each other and should represent my sound. And then the story is like somewhere else only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're
oftentimes what I do.
Huh? What?
For me, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll design my whole set from before, and I'll do my proper homework, and then I'll go for the thing. And obviously I'll have like I like to have like at least some kind of tempo change in the set. So it should start, maybe it's at 145, it should end at like 148, why not? Or the other way around, it should, you know, go down in tempo. Or something dynamic should happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just playing a playlist.
Yeah, that's what I was going to actually ask you, is like when you go to DJ, do you have everything like prepared before? Like, do you know what you're going to be playing? Or do you... I recently pretty much, I recently pretty much know pretty much exactly what's going to happen. Okay. And obviously there will be changes and everything. If things are not going my way, I will make adjustments to the playlist. But pretty much I've come with an idea of a story. I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to touch this. So how I get there could be varied, but these are my touch points. Right? So, okay. My 3-4 tracks for my set. Okay, yeah. How I get there is, yeah. But I do all my research is done. Like my tracks are warped, and my cues are made, and my in points and my out. Because I end up being quite drunk usually, or very stoned, or very whatever while I'm playing. So everything's just fantastic no matter what's happening. Oh, funny. You know, there's no goof ups ever. It's just all perfect. And it's cool because I like to use this stutter edit, and I like to mess around a lot. So I don't want to spend a lot of time queuing and, you know, marking that
in point and stuff. I just want to. I'm there. That's exactly where I want to get this track in from. It's always going to be that point. And
Okay.
now I can do my other stuff on it. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
And do you do?
Or work the track. You know, like, it's a very techno, or it comes from techno, house music, maybe hip hop, maybe all. DJs work the track. You know, they do some. They don't just play the track and stand back and
No.
wait for the next track. You gotta work the track.
Yeah. So and also are you like producing also like chill out stuff?
Yes, yeah, I've got a side project which is doing chill out stuff, which is from about 85 to 120. It could be faster also. There's faster chill out also. But that lets me explore different time signatures. Like I can do a track in 7/8 or 6/8, or explore different keys. And I've recently got the opportunity of working with these friends of mine. I've done a beautiful song, which was like a Bharatanatyam performance come song for Red Bull. So they recorded these guys with classical Carnatic violin and sarod and things like that. And I heard the track and I was like, this would be an amazing side B track, you know. So can you send me the stems? So they send me the stems, and it's in a Carnatic scale. So for me, I mean, obviously, if I'm writing side trance, it's either melodic minor, or it's harmonic minor, or it's minor, or it's Phrygian. But Carnatic scale was something very different for me to work with. So it was interesting writing a song in Carnatic scale. It challenges you to do other things. And obviously, because of my background in advertising and film, I like to do. Our clients would give us any genre. It could be country western, it could be classical, and we would have to do it. So I'm used to, oh my God, how do I do this? You know, so and figuring it out. And so now it's fun to do that. I like to do all kinds of genres, like glitch. I have a couple of glitch tracks. I have a couple of deep house tracks. I have a couple of Afro disco tracks. It's just fun to explore. Maybe explore my sample libraries and explore just what I'm feeling for that day, you know, because you can't always be like da-ga-da, da-ga-da, da-ga-da.
Yeah. No. And
some days you go.
Before we go, I wanted to also so before your like until your label like starts or whatever, like where can we find like your music, like on apart from like SoundCloud? Where else have you got your music or mixes or stuff up?
So my release stuff is available on all the platforms.
Okay.
My Bombay Central and Tarun Shahani stuff is, I mean, on all the platforms, like on iTunes and Spotify and all of those things. And the new music that's coming out now is coming out mostly on Bandcamp and as well as SoundCloud.
Bandcamp,
so people will have access to
and SoundCloud.
Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Yeah.
Okay.
And on that, it'll be BoomBaba or Tarun Shahani. That'll be both.
And what's the label going to be called?
The label is Industry Music.
Industry,
like
industry.
The Indian tree.
Okay.
Also industry.
Okay. And one last thing, the BoomBaba, where does that name come from? What's the inspiration for the name?
The industry?
The name BoomBaba.
It's a little bit of my background, you know, because I mean, of where I picked up my skills working in the industry, and also it's like the India and its industry is the play on the words of an Indian tree. So that's sort of like, that was the root inspiration.
Okay, so I guess we'll just have to look out for your label. Do you know when you have any idea, like when you're going to release something on your label?
Well, there's a few tracks have already been released this month. I released a glitch hop track called Megalovania, which is a remix of famous indie game called Undertale. My son was playing, and I really like the music. So the guy who made the game wrote all the music for the game. So it was very interesting, and he gave it license free to the whole world to do what they wanted. So I took the tune and I messed around with it. That track, that was one of the first tracks I put out on Bandcamp, and I put out an old remix of a track artist called Jitter from India. Jayant Luthra was a very talented artist.
Okay.
And it's my remix of this track, which was done a few years ago. always been banging in the night in the clubs, but unfortunately, my friend who commissioned the track didn't feel it was releasable, so my friend would tease me that I'm unreleasable. So I finally put the track out, and so that track's out. And I'm slowly, basically finishing out my mastering my material and putting it out. I think by the end of the year, both the albums as well as the Chill Out album will be.
Okay, cool. So you got like, so you'll be keeping pretty busy actually, huh?
Yeah, that basically what I've been doing since I moved to Goa is honing my skills, using everything I've learned over the last 10 years doing advertising and stuff into doing my own productions and collaborating with some interesting people in Goa itself. Like Gambino, there's a track out with Gambino as well. There's a few other people out there. And you meet really interesting musicians in Goa as well, especially for the lounge and the chill out stuff and the Siberian stuff. So the artists like Elvis.
I'm just trying to. Okay. Okay. I was just wanting here to see if there was any questions people were asking if you wanted to answer, but I can't read them all. I'm just wondering if you can see any of them. If you wanted to answer one or two before
I can just see a lot of emoticons. India Food Love Industry. Oh, Supreet. I don't see. I see a lot of alien and Indian flags.
Yeah.
And Ajas.
And Ajas and.
No, I don't see any questions that I can answer.
Thanks for the education and the experiences through your. Oh, I think there was one here.
Domino, you look more active and interesting in this life than others. That's one of the comments.
I have no idea why they
CNU 8629.
I don't have any idea what that means. When are you coming? When are you coming to Anjuna?
Coming to Anjuna.
No. When are you coming to Delhi? Who are you asking that? Are you asking BoomBaba?
BoomBaba, what was the most iconic gig last season? Iconic gig last season, I would say Dream Beach, Vantra Vichitra, that Caracas Maracas has been ending up to be quite fantastic. And I love that spot. I think Dream Beach is a fantastic spot.
There's one more question there.
Spot.
One more question there.
Genre. What's your favorite psytrance subgenre? It's tough to choose. Goa trance.
Funny. Well,
Caracas Maracas. There you go. No problem with the hearts. Somebody's typed Caracas Maracas. Noble
Caracas Maracas. Well, thanks so much for being here and doing this.
It was lovely chatting with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Awesome. Always.
Yeah, I'm sure there was lots of stuff I did actually want to, some more stuff I want to ask, but then time goes so quick.
We can maybe do a part 2 in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do that. Like when you got more stuff out on your label and stuff, we can do that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And we can preview some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's your longest track?
Forward.
What's your longest track?
My longest track. Favorite time of making music. I usually work in the day because my family and my wife has to sleep and she goes to work. Longest track, 7-8 minutes, I think. I don't think I've made anything longer than 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Well, thank you everybody for being here, and
thanks everyone for watching.
And I wish you all to be safe and sending everybody good vibes and stay positive and everybody be kind, okay?
Okay. Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, Taryn. See you. Take care. Say hi to your family.
Most welcome.
Bye.